He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No, it's Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
What the fuck?
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to After Further Review. This is episode 193. I'm your co-host, John Brown.
I am your other co-host, Malin Dennis. Hold on, let me get my good Red Arbuck impersonation going on here.
Yes, sir.
Got
Yeah, I'm
that
your
chip.
other good co-host, Nestor.
He's a Heat fan. No one cares.
He's all right. And back again, we have our favorite first half guest, June Buckspade. What's going on, June?
What's up? Congrats to the Boston Celtics.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. 16 years in the making, my man. 16 long ones.
Yeah, the fact that I was wearing a 16-year-old shirt when we won this damn thing a couple nights ago. Good Lord, glad I get to retire that son. But the fact that it still fits.
There you go.
Yeah.
Meant that I was really fat and I lost a lot of weight in between 16 years. Like that's what it means.
Yeah,
Nah, because I gained a lot of it back. Don't worry about it. It's just like it did back in 2008. That's part of the problem.
All right, boys, let's go ahead and start off our show how we usually do. If you're new to the show, we always take a cheers at the top and in the halfway point. So cheers to you boys. Banner 18.
I thought Nestor was just about to. I thought Nestor was about to drink from the bottle. I didn't know it for. All right, number 18, baby. One more than anybody else. Oh, it tastes a little bit better when you're toasting banner number 18.
Yes, it does.
So
It's a little bit sweeter.
So the Boston has 18. The Lakers have
18.
18.
13. Oh, the Lakers have 13.
And then but then there's a big drop after that, right? There's like a big. Nobody else is in the double digits, right?
Okay. Well, the way they call it is that Celtics have 18. They say that the Lakers have 17, but they won 5 in Minneapolis.
Right, well, they were
in
prehistoric.
Minnesota. I don't count those.
Yeah.
I don't count those years.
Okay.
When
We're
you're
talking about the LA Lakers.
winning chips,
Talking about the LA
yeah, when you're
Lakers.
winning chips wearing baby blue.
Yeah.
Shut up. And you know what? I also don't want to hear from these Laker fans talking about how we won a majority of our championships back when there was only 8 teams. Sir, the Lakers had a 5 championship head start on us from Minneapolis. They won 5 before we won 1. I'm sorry that we're 9-3 against them. They can't beat us. I mean,
Right.
you hate what you can't beat. You hate what you can't be. I'm sorry, Lakers. Y'all got LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
Bubble championship. Shut up.
I think the listen, God rest Jerry West's soul, but the funniest joke I saw was that Jerry West couldn't stand to watch the Celtics win a championship again, so he just died.
Damn right. Well, he watched it so many times live, he never beat the goddamn Celtics in the championship. Lost every goddamn year.
Oh man, but yeah, if you are new to the show, we are an NBA and NFL podcast. We live stream our show every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to click the first link down in your podcast description, you'll be brought to the latest episode, the YouTube version of the latest episode. So be sure to subscribe, click the like button, tune in Wednesday night so you can join the live chat and be involved in the discussion in real time. So, yeah, let's get into the first topic of the week, which is, of course, the fact that our Boston Celtics When I say we, I mean Malin and I. Nestor, like Malin said earlier, is a Miami Heat fan. June is a semi-Dallas Maverick, Los Angeles Laker fan. So there's that. But anyway, Celtics raising banner 18. Great way to start off the week with the championship.
Mm-hmm.
So, Malin, I'm going to start with you this time. What do you think were the three biggest reasons that the Celtics were able to win this finals?
Well, one, I think we were the better team, the deeper team. I know that Dallas had Luka, and they also had Kyrie. Two things about those two. One, everybody right now is trying to tout, okay, well, Luka led the playoffs, I think, in points. I think he led in everything because he went to the finals. I think he was leader in points, like rebounds, assists, like all that stuff. He was tired. He was hurt. He's a little pudgy. Man needs to get in the gym. He needs to get in on LeBron James's workout regimen. Like, do whatever you need to do. Like, I think that Luka is actually at a point in his career where Michael Jordan was, but on a different track. Michael Jordan was so skinny, he was getting the shit beat at him by the Detroit Pistons. He couldn't hang with him in the playoffs. I think Luka, he's so talented, yet he's unathletic because he's not taking care of his body. I think he needs to get in the gym and take care of his body so that he could protect the longevity of his career and a playoff run. Because he kind of ran out of gas. I think the second reason why we won is that Kyrie is scared of Boston fans. He was a no-show in all three games in Boston. We just scared the shit out of him. I don't know if he just thinks the earth is flatter over there, or he just don't like the booze. He wasn't wearing the brown shoes with the tassels. I don't give a shit, Irving. You know what? When he came to Boston, he said he was going to deliver us a chip, Jalen. He said he was going to do it. He said he was. He's a man of his word, so I ain't going to hate on him too much. He's a man of his word. He gave us a chip. He didn't show up. He bowed out. He bowed out except for one game. He didn't want to get swept, but he bowed out the whole rest of the series. So that's number two. And number three, it is just the depth of this team. That when you talk about the big moments in this series for the Celtics, you can list moments with Tatum. You can talk about moments with Brown. You can talk about Horford hitting big threes, Derek White hitting some good shots, Drew Holiday coming up big, especially in the beginning of Game 5 when nobody was hitting shots, and Drew Holiday taking it to the paint early on in the game. There were moments for everybody on that roster to contribute. Like, they're so deep. And I'm really glad that nobody's free agent. We're going to them all back. We're going to get Banner 19. Don't worry about it, people. We're living in the glow right now. This is the Banner 18 era, as the Swifties would call it. This is the Banner 18 era, people. I'm going to be living rent-free in Esther's head for the next year because it just happened. Because we got a Banner, and he has Jimmy Butler with crimped hair. My God, this is what we're doing, people. But no, they were just a better team all year. Better team all year. The best team won.
Yeah.
So, congrats.
As the other Boston fan here, I'm going to go second. So, I think first I've got to give credit to the front office for sticking with the core, the two J's, sticking with Coach Mazzulla, sticking with most of the core of the team that was there a couple years ago from that other finals. And then going out like Brad Stevens making the moves to say, hey, we really need to go get a true point guard in Drew Holiday, and let's go get the underrated Kristaps Porzingis to add to this offense. And I think it just went to show the brilliance of, since he coached these same guys just a few years ago, so he knows the team very, very well, knows them all individually. So he knew like exactly what was needed. And so props to him for making the right moves. On that same note, the second thing, I thank the Miami Heat for not getting Damian Lillard because through
Damn
that
right.
we got Drew Holiday. So the fact that
Mhm.
deal never went through is just
Damn idiots.
thank you Miami for fumbling that bag big time. And then last but not least, I've just like Malin said, the depth of this roster is just crazy. This is one of the few cases where you can't look at the team and say there was just one star who carried it in throughout most of the playoffs or most of the regular season. It was a by committee effort on both ends of the ball for the entire year. So this is like I bias hat off. It still looks like the most complete NBA roster, NBA championship team we've seen in a long time. So that's my 3 reasons. Nestor, I'm gonna go to you next.
Yeah, I second everything you guys have said. Celtics are just a very complete team. From one player to the last player, they're just very what's his name? Pritchard? Pritchard
Oh,
would just
with that 50-footer.
if you're talking about role players, like he would sneakily
God
Yeah.
just
damn.
like, I'm gonna do this because I can. I don't know for no reason. Like it's insane. Like every player just he put up like a sneaky, I think 11 points one game. And he was there. He was contributing. Everybody was putting in their numbers. So they're just a very complete team. And I just from last year, I just think they look very more like dynamic on offense. Like pass the ball a lot more. Like they look good. Like they can, react quicker. It just looks 100% better. And it's about damn time. Like the consistency this team has had over the last few years, it's like
Okay,
you would
you're
think
not lying.
all it would take is that one last little piece in the puzzle, and I think this was the year. And now they're very complete, and they look pretty scary. So it's gonna be very interesting going forward.
June, go right ahead.
Well, I think one of the biggest things, and I'll get to the 3, but I think one of the biggest things it came down to coaching. I think Joe Mazzulla just had these guys believing that this was their time. Okay, I mean, Jason Kidd is a great coach. He's a pretty good coach. He's got championship pedigree from his playing days. Joe Mazzulla just had that thing about him that he got these guys to believe. He had his front office had his back. And I can tell you now, with the way this team was put together this season, you could tell that this team was put together with a combination of the front office and Joe Mazzulla. His input, his fingerprints was in on this team. This was a workman-like team. That's why it was so complete, and that's why they were so deep in what they did. The next thing, they got 2 stars on their team, and big time stars. Not yeah. The Mavericks might have Kyrie and Luca, but my God, Tatum and Tatum and Brown, they just been together so long, and they just fit. And Missoula was just able to put everybody, all the pieces around them, and say, "This is the team, and this is how we're gonna do it." And not only did he put a good team around him, he put a team around him not for one season. He put a team around them for a couple of seasons. And that brings me to my 3rd thing: the depth. The depth of this team is scary because they can run a 12-man rotation with no problem and not have any drop off when it comes to it. And that's the great thing about what Missoula has done, what the front office has done, and the 2 stars have done. So you got to take your hats off to Boston. They knew what they were doing. Look at that roster from the beginning of the season. You said this roster can't be beat, and they did it. And they went out there and they proved it. So hats off to
Now,
Boston all day long.
Galen, can I give a 4th thing?
Go right ahead.
It's got to be Brad Stevens.
Mm.
And the reason why I say that is because even after winning the championship, I might be one of these Boston Celtics fans where I am still not 100% sold on Tatum being that guy. where you have that lone star that can win you a championship. Like the Giannis, like the Kobe's, Curry, LeBron
Yeah.
James, people like that. I'm still not 100% sold on Tatum doing that. And you know what? Like he is still I think he's 38% in the finals. 2 finals he's been in, 38% shooter. But Brad Stevens, he kept him and Jaylen Brown together.
Yep.
Goes out and gets Porzingis.
Mhm.
Goes out and gets Drew Holiday. He knew, you know what? Like, we gotta get support. And I don't really necessarily know what it is about Tatum. I want him to be that guy. I don't think he has that killer instinct. I think in the fourth quarter in Game 5, he tried to get that MVP. And he tried to get it. He tried, and he was doing great. He had all the, but, and I will say that when it comes to the MVP, he is the first person to ever lead his team in points, rebounds, and assists, and not win the MVP. But he really had a couple bad games.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Brown was that guy, and I'm not just saying that because I picked him to be MVP, but I told y'all he was going to be the MVP because he was going to have the clutch moments. The
Right.
clutch moments. So for Brad Stevens to keep those two together, add those pieces, was just remarkable. To put this team together, and not just for this year.
Right.
We got him for a couple years. And so I'm still not sold that Tatum has that killer mentality. Especially after game 1, when you come out and say you're nervous, you're anxious. Like, sure, you've already been through a finals where you laid an egg. Like, stop coming out nervous. But this team collectively is great.
Right.
Collectively is great. It harkens back to the 86 Celtics. I mean, the 86 Celtics with Bird, McHale, Parrish. You had Bill Walton, the 6th man of the year, coming off the bench. I mean, not one man made that team great,
Right.
but the collective entity of them all that made them great. So, we should run it back again. We are the favorites right now in Vegas,
Right.
and we should be.
Mhm.
And I think we will be, and I think we're going to bring home banner number 19.
I love
Well, the last time you guys won a chip before this, the Lakers won what, twice, 3 times, and then we ended up winning twice. So hopefully, history.
Well, Nestor,
Oh, Lord.
my
wishful
guy. First of all,
We need to get
the
out.
Lakers had Kobe. They had Kobe in his prime. They didn't have LeBron James after his prime and AD and whatever the fuck AD is. And then you got LeBron James
Right.
in
In
his
Miami
prime
at LeBron, right?
with
Can we
Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
There's no LeBron James and
On
Bosh
either one of-
coming
right.
to Miami.
if
It's
they
not
get Luka?
happening. Nobody's going. Who?
And
Yeah. He ain't. No. Stop it.
Hi, Riley. Make this possible, man.
Shout
Not
out
gonna
to
happen.
G Money in the chat. His 3 reasons are Boston's defense, number 2, Porzingis and Holiday, and number 3, not doing like every other NBA team and firing the head coach after losing to Miami last year. So 3 very good reasons.
Hey, Missoula was great, and Missoula was giving credit to other people for, like
Yeah.
the scheming on defense
Right,
and stuff.
right.
I mean,
'Cause that-
so
That whole coaching staff,
know.
man, that's the one thing is that I'm sure I can't forget, but somebody already left to he took the Charlotte job. But I mean, like Sam Cassell's still there. He's probably up for a head coaching job next.
we lost Van Gundy. He went to
Oh, no.
he went to the Lakers, didn't he? But we lost Van Gundy.
He's on the Lakers
But,
coaching
I-
staff.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's like an assistant now.
That's
He
so
was like
funny
a
that the Lakers
consultant
are
for
winning.
us, but I think he went to the Lakers or
Gotcha.
the Clippers. Lakers or Clippers? I think it's the Lakers. I think.
I
he
haven't
went to the
seen
Lakers.
that. Yeah.
But they don't even have coach.
Right.
A head
That's
coach.
a
I don't know
whole
what's gonna happen.
nother thing.
They might get what's his name? Monty Williams from the Pistons now.
That's right, 'cause he's up now.
He got out of purgatory, didn't he?
I
mean,
still
holy
think
shit.
that they just need to hurry up and sign JJ Redick. Come on, like I'm so tired
Oh,
of this
God.
Lakers dance that they're doing now. Like
JJ Redick.
it's like they're
JJ
trying
Redick
not
can't be a
to.
Lakers head. No, man. JJ Redick cannot be the Lakers head
He
coach.
can't.
He's not woke enough. He's not woke enough. He's too conservative. He cannot be a head coach in LA. It
Clearly,
won't fit.
LeBron wants
If the
him.
gloves don't fit, you got to acquit, man. Like, it's not going to work.
LA knows that too.
Not going to work. It worked for OJ, but it's not going to work for Redick. Like, it's not a good fit.
Oh, gosh.
LeBron
Not a
wants
good
him,
fit.
but they know they cannot hire him. But if they keep letting this drag on, I don't know. JJ might end up there.
Yeah.
Goddamn! If whoever signs fucking LeBron James son, Jesus Christ! I mean, I just saw the thing. I got an email today about the draft
How'd that
ads
boy
for
go
the
to the
NBA.
draft?
I'm like, holy shit! Here we are. This is gonna be fucking insane. Wherever he goes, the media attention.
Yep. All right. Second question on this topic is, do you guys think that the Dallas Mavericks will make it back to the NBA Finals? Maybe not necessarily next year, but within the next couple of years. June, I'll start with you on this one.
So I made a list because I saw this question that you sent out. so can they make it back to the finals if they keep Kyrie? And not saying they'll win it,
Right.
but can they make it back to the finals in the West with Kyrie and Luka, just those two, and come back with the same team? Absolutely not. They gotta go out. They gotta go out, and they have to sign. Because I'm gonna tell you now, and I'm looking at this. I'm looking at a couple of teams in the West that are going to be better. I believe San Antonio's going to be better.
No,
Wembyamba, I believe they're going to be better. I'd say they're going to be better. Not say they're going to be, Oklahoma's going to be better.
I can't be correcting you on how to pronounce
Denver's
this
going to
name.
be
That's
better.
terrible.
Denver's going to be better, and we don't know if Golden State may have another run in them. We just don't know about that team yet.
All right.
If they keep that team together, they may have one more run. We always see older teams like that just get that one last run in them. So you remember when
They
the
had
Lakers
the
made
last
that
run. Against my Celtics. That was their last run against my Celtics. Thank you for bringing up bad memories, June.
Sorry, I'm just saying
That was
they
it.
may
That
have
was the
another
last
in
run.
them.
No, they don't.
But those teams are good. But I looked at the free agent list, right? And I looked at what the needs were for what the Mavericks needed as they played against Boston. And if you look at some of the top free agents that may fit with them, I like the two defensive guys I like for them would be Siakam and Nick Clayton. Nick Clayton is with the Nets.
Siakam just signed.
He's young. Did he sign? I didn't know if he signed.
Siakam just signed an
locked
extension.
down.
with
He just
Indiana.
signed. Okay.
Got a big ass extension. He don't want a
he would have been-
championship. Want to stay in the
Yeah,
cornfield.
he doesn't. I guess so. But if so, you take him out. You still got Nick Clayton, guy from the Nets haven't signed him yet. They want to sign him. But he's a great defensive center. And then you still have Paul George and Klay Thompson, who are going to be free agents. Those guys can be your scorers. They're going to bring some defense and scoring, but they need a third scorer. And two guys I saw that could come off the bench for the Mavericks would be Jonas Valanciunas or Gordon Hayward. I think any of those two guys coming off the bench can help free up their bench just a little bit. They need that help, but they definitely need one more big defensive guy and another scorer on that starting lineup if they want to get back to the championship either this year or next year. But as the team sits right now, this team will, as it sits right now, if they kept this team together next year, this team wouldn't win 40 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to ask.
Go
You're
ahead.
going to make me defend the Dallas Mavericks like the team that my team just spanked. Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead and talk about the competition. First of all, we have Oklahoma. Okay. I am waiting for another white van in Oklahoma
Lord
to
have
do
mercy.
justice.
Oh, Jesus.
It's going to happen at some
Jesus
point.
Christ.
Boy.
Okay. They are young. They're good. They're still inexperienced. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Collectively, they're good, but they're not great. Okay. Somebody got to start feeding somebody some protein. Eat some steak, people. Y'all thin as shit. We got a bunch of Jalen Browns out there running around. Now, I'm not even talking about the one that plays for the Celtics. I'm talking about the one wearing the goddamn headphones right now, laughing. Just a bunch of lanky ass people for Oklahoma that can score but can't play defense. Denver. I think Murray is overrated as a number 2. They don't have the depth that they need. And I think that, like, listen, the fact that the Joker has won as many MVPs as he has, he's already won a championship. We all know that he doesn't like being in America. He wants to be with his fucking horses. I think he's disinterested. They did not come back with the same mentality of a defending champ that you would like to think a defending champ would come back with. They didn't have that fire to try to get it done a second time, and I think it's going to keep waning. I think the Joker is like, he's not going to play a ton of more years, guys. He's going to be one of those that, like, listen, I got my money, I got my horses, and you guys got me stuck in fucking Denver.
Right.
Peace out. Like, no one's going to Denver to help him.
Yeah.
And if he's not going to be a title contender, he's not going to have it. I'm not even going to talk about the Lakers. Jesus Christ. San Antonio, Wembanyama. I mean, come on, man. They
got a little.
They don't spend money. They don't got money. Here's where I'm going with Dallas. Yes, I do think that they have a chance to go back to the finals very soon. Why? Because I still think that Luka, even though he's pudgy as shit, is the best player in the NBA.
Yeah.
You can miss me on anybody else. He's the best player in the NBA. That man is skilled in the art of shooting. Okay? When he wants to play defense, he can play defense. But he doesn't have the cardio to be able to do it. So he really needs to get in shape. He needs to get in shape. If he does it, if he makes that transformation, Dallas can be a player for like the next 6 years. Kyrie has stayed out of trouble. Okay, stayed out of trouble. Now they might find Boston in the finals again. He's going to shrink like a bitch, like he did in this finals. But they could definitely still get there. And then you got the Clippers. Paul George is a free agent. Kawhi Leonard with that goofy ass laugh. I don't really see anything going on with the Clippers. They got more toilets. They're going to need those toilets because they're going to make a bunch of people wanting to take a lot of shits based on what they watch on the floor. So I do think that Dallas could be in play for Paul George, though. And if they get Paul George, I do think that could be a great number 3. I don't think they need a lot of defensive help because they were one of the best defensive teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were one of the best defensive teams in the playoffs. So, but if they get Paul George, man, I'll book it. They'll be in the finals next year. But if they don't get him, they still got the best player, in my opinion, in the NBA. And when you got the best player in the NBA, you always have a shot to get there, especially because Oklahoma City's still young. Denver's getting older. The Lakers, they need walkers. The Clippers, they got a lot of money. But so I just feel like the West, and we're not even talking about Phoenix because Booker and Durant, I don't know what the fuck is going on with them.
No, they're
no one takes them seriously right now. Brandon Beal, who the fuck are you, man? You ain't been relevant. Like, you were relevant in Washington, but you can't be relevant in Phoenix. Like, goddamn. So how is Porzingis more relevant in Boston than Beal is in Phoenix? It's fucking crazy. They both played in Washington. So anyway, so I don't know, man. I just feel like Dallas will get back. And it might be one of them late ones. Maybe it's going to be like Nowitzki losing to the Heat early in his career and then getting back and beating somebody else. But I feel like Luka is going to get his at some point if he can stay healthy. But you better hit a cardio, man.
I like the team the way it's made up, but I still think they need that third scorer because they proved it against Boston. They need that third guy. They need that third go-to guy because Boston defense was way too good for them to only have 2 guys. because the rest
Oh,
of
we
the
didn't
team,
say win the finals. We say get back to the
yeah,
finals. We didn't
yeah,
say win.
yeah,
You play
but
Boston again,
they
y'all
gotta
gonna
get that
lose.
third guy. Yeah, they got to get that third guy though. If they want to compete, if they want to make it a more competitive series, they got to hit that third.
Yeah.
They got to get that third guy. That's all I'm saying.
I will say that it's impressive that Luca can do what he does on the basketball court with a body that looks like mine. Because I'm 43 years old, his body looks like mine. I couldn't do shit. I could run out there for 5 minutes. You can get 3 fouls and no points and no rebounds. And Luca out there just still dropping shit. So good on him being unathletic looking as fuck. Still being the best player in the NBA.
Nestor, you can go ahead. I'll go last.
I feel like they have a very short time frame. No, I don't. I just feel like the West is so just toxic right now. Like, what are the Lakers doing? You would think an organization like that would just say, have the self-respect to be like, we've done this for like how many years now? That's just disrespect to our history. Let's get these guys out of here and let's actually rebuild like we know how to do. But they just keep doing the same shit.
Yep.
And it's just a little bit similar to like now we don't have to. I'm not saying we have the history Lakers have, but what I'm saying is like the Heat.
Right.
You know you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you know where it's going to lead to if you just continue having the team the way it is. But do you even care at this point? Because you're not changing anything. So I just feel like that whole Western Conference, like what Marion was saying, Denver, just I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're expecting. Like maybe the Joker next season is gonna have this baller season. They're gonna go back to the finals or somehow, but it's just not gonna work that way because I don't see them as a very complete team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the only thing that makes me worry is Luka's injuries, his health. That's the only thing that makes me worry a little bit. As far as if he can get his team to the finals. But I feel like eventually that OKC team is going to get, they're not going to be young forever. They're going to mature. They're going to be a pretty good team. Minnesota doesn't look bad. Look like a pretty complete team. But I just wonder, you have teams like fucking Phoenix. It's a bonfire. It's like what's going on over there? It's a circus. It doesn't matter. And then the Clippers, like, what are you doing? Why are you trying so hard to be the Lakers that you're just doing the same thing the Lakers are doing but worse? Just bring all these veterans that just don't play well together. Like, why do you have Russell Westbrook? What are you doing?
Right.
So it's just,
And I want to be clear that I did not bring Minnesota up for a reason. Some people are going to hate on the fact that I didn't bring Minnesota up. Towns is going to get hurt. Gobert's a bitch with his little COVID ass, and Edwards is not Jordan. So Minnesota is not going to the finals anytime soon. I just want to make that clear. I want to make sure that put me on record for that.
Oh, boy. So I do think that the Mavs will be back within the next couple of years. I've got a lot to say about just this one specific topic. But I think that they need to get rid of, besides Luka and Kyrie, and I think Derek Lively, this is just his rookie season. He's got a lot of room to grow. I think he'll be a very good big man for them. The rest of those guys are just ducks. You can just do whatever with them, to be honest. Yeah. They do need a third scorer, though. That's without a doubt. I don't think they'll be able to get Paul George this coming year, so it probably won't be PG-13. G-Money just said in the chat, they would be in luxury hell if they were to try and sign him. So they would need to trade literally all those other ducks and have 4 guys on the roster if they want to get Paul George. So I think within the next couple of years, they'll be able to get somebody. So I don't think it'll be maybe next year, but maybe 2026 they could be back. I do think Luka will get into better shape, though. I think he's going to hear all of this criticism, and all the greats, they have to go through this of them cutting their teeth in one way or another. And usually, if you look at the finals history, most of these teams, they do make it back in some shape, way, or form. Whether they win it again is a different discussion. But outside of like Milwaukee and Phoenix, that following COVID year, pretty much everybody else has kind of been back in the rotation like it usually works. So I think Dallas will find their way back. I was gonna say something else, but I'm having a brain fart here. Yeah, because the rest of the West, I think OKC, Minnesota, Denver, I think they'll be still in the mix. The rest of the West, those teams are just toxic. Like Nestor said, Phoenix, both LA teams, forget about them. They were kind of like placeholders. They made it by default
Yeah.
because they have, some of
The
the best players out
Pelicans.
there. Right. The Pelicans, like, come on. So
could-
almost by
Like,
default,
what are you
I
doing?
can
Dallas will
see
be in there.
if there is a team in the West, like one of the top 4, that ends up getting someone like Trey Young,
Right. Oh,
I
yeah.
could see
Yeah.
you making a little bit of a splash. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily know how he would fit in with Dallas, but I knew that
No,
do know
no,
that Trey
no.
Young is going to be on the block. If you're a team in the West and you get someone like Trey Young, and he doesn't have to be that number one and try to carry a franchise,
Yeah.
Mhm.
he could be a difference maker. But at this point, I think there's more stability in the East.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about how the
Mm.
Celtics had an easy run to the finals with the East, but I think when you look at talent for talent, I think we have more parity in the East and the West than we ever have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's good teams on either side of the ball. It just kind of seems like the East has more stable teams. The West has a lot of drama
Yeah.
going around. But yeah, I do think that Trey Young could be a wild card. Trey Young goes to a different squad, that could be a little bit of a difference maker. But outside of that, I mean, I would not be surprised if you have a Dallas Boston series again next year. I would not be surprised, even if you kept the current roster, because
Right.
Dallas, they're not going to rack up a ton of wins in the regular season, but they're built for the postseason. I mean, they were the 5th
Yeah.
seed this year.
Yeah.
They made it to the finals. They could do it again. So they have the defense and the offense to make a postseason run deep. So just saying.
All right, let's transition right into the community comments for this week. Right before I hit that, I do want to mention if you want to join our AFR Discord, it's linked down in the description below. If you want to chat sports with us when we're not on the podcast live, that's where you can find everybody and chit chat in there. So if you're into Discord, the link's down in the description below. Check it out. It's completely free. We do not have
We're
a
always
paid
talking
Discord.
shit.
Yes, we are. All right, so community comments for the week. I'm going to start off. We ran a poll on who was going to win Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and 60-40, obviously 60 Celtics, but hey, that was still 40% of people that were believing that Dallas was going to be able to keep it alive. So this kind of goes to show you on that.
I had no fear. I really didn't.
Right. It seemed like
they were playing not to be swept, man.
Yes.
The
yeah.
threes
Legitimately
weren't
swept.
falling for Boston. They were going out. I mean, that game
It was
was
a
not
gentleman's sweep.
indicative of what the rest of the series was like.
Yes. Over on TikTok.
40% of people are stupid.
Over on TikTok, Nestor said Celtics win back home. The energy is going to be crazy. Nestor was right on that one. June said Celtics win by 11 tonight. I don't know what the final score was, but I don't think it was by 11. But he was,
No, it was,
probably
no,
won
it was
that bet.
more than 11. It was 18, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
18.
it was more than 11. Yeah.
They covered.
Yeah. They covered. That's all they want. They cover the spread, baby.
June got his money, baby.
Yeah, sure. I paid no matter what.
And then Frank says if Tatum shows it's over, he needs a big game or he won't ever to get the haters off his back. So, yeah.
I still don't think he has
had a
the
big
haters
game.
off his back. I think he's still got the haters.
Really?
I think. Well, I do because, listen, he didn't win MVP. And the best moments that he had in the NBA Finals were when the Celtics were up by 20 in the second half of Game 5. Like, the most dominant that he was in this entire series was pretty much when the game was already out of reach. He wasn't consistent. He already talked about how nervous he was. He had terrible first and second games. I mean, I know that you and I talked about game two in Boston, Jalen, but I think if you go game one and game two at home, in the NBA Finals, you can't score 20 points. Like, come on, man. So I still think people are going to be coming for him because he didn't win MVP, and he still had I think he only averaged 22 points in the finals. He was consistent in other areas, but there's a lot of people that are consistent in the finals. Like, he's not supposed to be Murray with Denver. He's supposed to be the Joker with Denver. You know what I mean? And he wasn't that person in this finals. He was kind of average. And I get that he didn't necessarily need to be
Right.
all that, but he didn't show that killer instinct. He didn't show that alpha in him. Jaylen Brown won the MVP because he had bigger moments in the finals. There's a reason why Tatum is the first player to lead his team in points, rebounds, and assists and not win the NBA Finals because he wasn't clutch when they needed him to be clutch to really stave off attacks or to be big in big moments. But he was definitely going for that MVP in the second half in Game 5.
Yeah,
he was definitely going for it.
He was trying.
He was going for it. He's trying his best, and he had a good Game 5, but consistently through 5 games, like, no, he wasn't. I still think people are going to be out for him a little bit. He's going to show a little bit more. I mean, people were out for Curry. They talked about this on some of the shows.
Yeah.
I mean, Curry, Iguodala won the MVP. Then Durant won it a couple times. And so, yeah, Curry was a 3-time finals champ, but he hadn't won the finals MVP. He didn't do that till he beat our Celtics. And there were people even talking about Curry, like, is he really that guy? So I still think people are going to be coming after him a little bit. I really do.
Right.
Yeah, I think for now that conversation is kind of like on the back burner, like for the next year or so, because after you win a title, it's kind of hard to really say much of anything. But like you said, even with Steph Curry, once the Warriors, once KD was gone, in that couple of years later, people were like, "Oh, is Steph Curry really that good?" Now that he doesn't have KD, and the Warriors are a bit older, and it took him winning another one for the people to be like, "Yo, I guess he is really that good." So it's like
the 1 year you win the finals, and Jaylen Brown wins the Eastern Conference MVP and the Finals MVP, and he's supposed to be the best. He's supposed to be the second best player on the team. Yeah, I mean, they're still going to come out. The media in the whole of the NBA is still going to be left wanting more from Jason Tatum after this finals, even though they won. The team, no, but Tatum, yes.
G Money says, Malin, I had to talk you off the edge after Dallas beat the Celtics by 38.
You didn't have to talk me off the edge. I was just pissed off, man. I was so goddamn mad. I was so fucking pissed. Getting beat that goddamn bad. Oh my God. I was. Oh. It's one thing to lose in the finals. But even though we won the finals, but you still had one game where you lost in historic fashion, that still pisses me off. It pisses me off how bad of a loss it was. I was really angry. I was never at the point where I thought we were going to lose the finals, but I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, the moment I saw 5 white guys out there playing for the Celtics, I was like, fuck. Not good. This ain't the 60s, man. Can't do this shit.
In the second video in community comments, I made an apology video to Jaylen Brown because a year ago, I wanted this man to be traded after his performance against Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the fact that now here he is, Eastern Conference and Finals MVP is just, I mean, remarkable in just one season's time. So yeah, in the comments, Alan says this is typical sports fan stuff. The same thing will happen with Luka from all the people who are suddenly dragging him. And someone responded to him and said, they are so rough on some stars, not realizing how hard it is to win a championship. These guys need each other. They aren't replaceable as easy as people think. Did we just have two sensible comments in our comment section?
Wow.
I think we did
wow.
that is a first.
It's amazing.
And then
People must have woken up and ate their Wheaties.
well, don't worry,
Some orange
because
juice.
Wayward Creek came along and just ruined it. Tatum should be traded to the
Oh.
highest bidder. Man's a joke. Got carried.
Oh God.
And then he got into an argument with several people, but yeah.
I mean, I will say, Jalen, you and I were both wrong after we lost to the Heat last year,
Mhm.
because you wanted Brown gone
Right.
and I wanted Tatum.
And you
gone.
want Tatum going, yep.
I thought that Tatum was more but the consensus was that you and I weren't sure if these two could win a championship together.
Right.
And I'm glad they proved us wrong.
Yep.
I'm glad they did. They learn, and listen, just great team ball. Unselfish outside of the fourth quarter in Game 5, where both of them were trying to win the MVP. That was kind of funny. But they proved us wrong. I'm glad.
Yes, they did.
Banner 18, baby.
Yes, they did. Well, that will do it for the first half of this week's show.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow June on TikTok, it is linked down in the description below. Be sure to give him a follow. Hey, NFL will be back here in just several more months, folks. It'll be here quicker than you think. And June is the person you want to be following for that time of the year. So
We might have to talk a little bit of baseball over the next
at some point this summer, stay tuned.
Get bleak, people.
I'll be happy.
Get bleak.
But yeah, June, thank you again for joining us
Thank you.
for another week. And
Not
yeah,
about your Mavericks. Not sorry. I apologize. No, I'm
not sorry at all.
Hey,
We will have.
Banner 18, baby.
I got paid. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that is all that matters.
You-
We will have G Money joining
I
us.
feel a little bit bad though, Jalen, because my favorite teams keep beating his favorite teams. Whether it's the Huskies or the Celtics, and I don't want June to end up hating me. I kind of feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of animosity.
It's always on big stages too.
Nestor's used to it, but
All right, we'll be back in 10 minutes with G Money on the other side. So sit tight.
Peace.
Bitch, I wake up, no silence. Fresh as fuck, I put it on all my niggas. Got this fire on no makeup, and she still a bad as shit. She in school, but it's cool, yeah, I still my daddy bitch. Got me footed like a pool, yeah, my necklace wet as shit. Rapping Balenciaga too, bitch, I'm flying in the pitch. Yeah, I stand my paper way taller than a midget. All these niggas lame as fuck, and they hate cause they don't get it. Yellow bitch, I'm cool as fuck, and it's paper that I'm getting. Rock us the globe, but you get told, yeah, I'm on a money mission. All that old shit up, but the whole host still a ton, they ain't missing. Yeah, I fuck on her, but I can't cuff her, I won't make her business. I don't know that boy, and I can't say it.
Kaepernick keeps it. Fooled everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
I'm fresh as hell, bitch, I'm fly as shit.
Armand
my Celtics finally going to hang banner number 18 tonight? Or are the Dallas Mavericks going to force a Game 6 back in Dallas? You let us know down in the comments below. Game 5 tonight, man. Come on, Celtics. Let's get it done.
Dual threat quarterback gets too much shine in the NFL. When was the last time a dual threat quarterback won Super Bowl? Patrick Mahomes can move when he needs to move, but he's not a running quarterback. At the quarterback position, the most important thing is throwing the football.
I think it's going to be about a 36-14 game. Tampa didn't play good last week.
I'm going to say it's probably going to be like a 32-17, 18 game.
It's going to be close. Depends. It's not going to rain anymore. So I'm going to go with we're going to win by 10.
I'll be honest. I think a lot of Eagles fans are nervous right now. I think it's going to be a close game. This is the Julio Jones night. This is the night where we find out what Julio Jones has left in the tank.
You're basically saying Devontae Smith ain't shit.
You know who's going to score tonight? Turn around. That's who's going to score. Yeah.
I think it's going to be 21-24 Bucks. Jalen doesn't have A.J. Brown. He's going to throw the ball to Devontae, but
Bucks going to win it 27-23. Baker's going to drive it last minute, score a touchdown, take the lead, win the game.
All right, so he still thinks Baker plays at Oklahoma. Go ahead.
24-21 Birds, and I only think we win by 3 because AJ's out, Devontae's hurt, Jalen's hurt. We run the football, we win by 3. We go destroy the Lions when AJ comes back.
28-17, Eagles. All
Did
day.
you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
He won the chip.
Right. You want to see what his trophy
He whooped my ass. For
look at the unwrapped. Look at this bad boy.
That's tight.
like we got some.
Very nice. A couple of bad drafts, but you know, the waiver wire.
Yeah, man.
You were
He was
clutch.
on it. Yeah.
Like thank Taylor for being friends without him. Let's go for the repeat.
We do a sports podcast. Okay. And I can't help but notice that somebody is wearing an inside-out neck jersey.
You know what? It's just a coincidence.
Explain what is happening right now.
Forecast was for rain. I didn't want the rain to fall on the outside.
That's all it is?
Because I love Dak. He's the best quarterback in the league. Big Mike's the best coach ever. Dallas's D is awesome. Yesterday was just unlucky. We'd won the coin toss. It was a Cowboys win. It was all about the coin toss.
Let's talk defense. You're wearing the Cardinals hat. You don't get a say. Dan Quinn. I don't want him as my coach.
Oh, he's gonna be though.
I don't want him to be.
I heard a stat today. Green Bay has won more playoff games at AT&T Stadium than Dallas. Do you know if that's true?
It probably
is.
I heard. So you still love that?
No. Mike's got to go. Big Mike's got to go. Dan Quinn's got to go. Jerry's got to rip this shit up.
Who do you want to replace Dak then?
Don't say Russell Wilson.
I was going to just ask you, would you trade Russell Wilson straight up for Dak?
No!
I wouldn't either now.
You went Browns to Bills?
No, I was a Buffalo fan and a Cleveland fan.
No.
They're in different leagues when I
Well, they were all in the AFC. Oh, okay. Fuck the Bucks! Awesome! Go fucking Eagles! Fuck you!
Hold on, ramparts we watch of the free. We celebrate Dr. Who's legacy.
I hate you so much. Alright, kill with the sniper. There is so much man on man happening right now. Bird!
You feeling good, man?
I ain't worried, man. I'm gonna tell them the truth. We not worried. We gonna score in this drive.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield for game. His name is Baker Mayfield.
Oh, okay.
The nigga got 8. Oh no!
I think that Brown is going to have more clutch moments down the stretch. I think this is going to be one of those finals where the clutch moments matter. I mean, y'all remember what was it? Iguodala won a Finals MVP
Yep.
because some clutch shit with Golden
Mhm.
State.
Yeah.
Even though Steph Curry led the team in several categories, it was Iguodala that was making huge plays, and I think Brown is going to have just as similar of a stat point as Tatum. He's been shooting his shot that he's one of the 5 best players in the NBA. He knows what this stage can do for his career too. And with Luka being hurt, he is a liability defensively. And I think there's going to be opportunities to drive into the hole and more wide open threes because you're going to be driving into the lane and kicking back out.
A year ago, after we lost to the Miami Heat, I wanted Brown. I thought that he was the weaker link in the Tatum-Brown duo, and I figured that he needed to go. It was not going to work out with him being on the team. But shout out to A, the front office, for sticking with him, and B, him himself, because he clearly worked on his game over last summer. That man is now undoubtedly one of the top 10 players in the NBA. You could make the case for top 5 if you really want to. And as a Celtics fan, I am sorry to Jay Brown for thinking that he needed to be traded, because he was a big reason for why we are now at banner 18.
I spit it through the wire, man. Too much stuff.
I don't understand the hate that this girl gets. She's the best rookie and the best rookie class the WNBA's ever had. Attendance in games that Caitlin Clark plays in are doubled the attendance of any other game of the WNBA. Viewership is damn near doubled because of her. She is responsible for the top 5 most watched WNBA games this year. She's the highlight of the league, yet these players are hell-bent on trying to ruin her, and for what?
Let her cook. I'm not saying they should just let her just out there shoot, do what she want. No, I think you should play, but play within the means of the game. Some of the fouls are not within the means of the game. Just play basketball. That's all you have to do. Everybody will get paid. This is your meal ticket. This is the time for you.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Second half of your favorite show on the internet. We've got the one, the only G Money. What's going on?
Oh, gentlemen, just basking in your sunshine of that Celtics win. And actually, I know you guys didn't talk about it in the first half, but Million was right. 5 games.
Yes.
We caught it in 5 games. The only thing is that when Dallas won Game 4, he was
I was a little pissed.
Was not feeling it.
Our Discord was colorful.
You were willing to basically nuke Boston. It was bad. There was phrases used numerous times.
I was also drunk. I was really drunk. But hey, I did call 5 games and Jaylen Brown being the MVP. I called it, people.
Which I was going to say.
I said it.
That's a cheers right there. The fact that you called Brown MVP and the exact number of games is pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. That's a parlay right there.
It is.
Even though I thought the game that Dallas would win was Game 3, but you know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't call it Game 5.
And it's funny because the way Boston won Game 3, it made everybody believe that they were going to win Game 4 because Dallas didn't have an answer. There was just no answer for them. And then
you felt all of Game 4, even though Dallas was up big. You kind of felt like, okay, well, Boston's going to come back at some point.
Yeah.
And make it a game. And I kept saying that when you and I were talking to you, Money. I was like, all right, Boston's going to make it close. They're going to make it close. They would get it within like 12 or something like that. Then Dallas will go back up. And then when they put all the backups in, I was like, there's too many white people. It's not going to happen. There's too many pale people. It's just not in the cards. But you know what? We got it done in Game 5. And that
Yeah, you
was,
did. Yeah.
got it done. That was a good night. It was a very good night. You watched that with me, G Money. We were there.
Nice.
I was in good spirits that night. Outside of the first quarter when nobody could hit a shot besides Drew Holiday. Nobody was hitting anything.
That's true. that was that was
man, halfway through the first quarter, I was like, okay, anybody gonna hit a shot? And the only reason why we're still into the game is because Dallas can't hit a three either. And I know Boston's gonna keep throwing theirs up, but they started making them, so we won.
I was watching
18
Game
minutes.
5 from our infamous Miller's Ale House, and I was sitting between a Heat fan who I just kept thanking over and over again, and a gambling degenerate who doesn't really watch sports like that, but just bets on anything, and was convinced that Dallas was going to win simply because Vegas needed this series to continue for money reasons. And I was like, whatever. And then he left before the game was over, so he couldn't even rub it in his face. But yeah,
learned that lesson.
The interesting thing is that Vegas doesn't need our money when it comes to sports gambling.
You would think that would
They
be
really don't.
common sense, but
They got it. They got enough high rollers coming in there right now spending all their goddamn money. They don't need our
Right.
prop bets. They don't need our NBA Finals bets. They're doing just fine.
yeah, they are.
Lord,
Yeah, they are.
It is the number one most expensive place to travel to in the United States right now.
Wow.
So yeah, they're getting their money.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you guys, what are we all drinking tonight?
Well,
out the
I've been
Woodford.
pouring shots of.
That's right.
Been
That's
pouring
right,
shots
the
of
Woodford.
Blanton's. Almost done. I'll kill it tonight. But
Yes.
the beer I've been drinking is the Voodoo Ranger IPA.
Oh.
Juice one.
Juice. I don't like they call it Juice Force. That's a little weird. But it does taste good. And it was on sale. Buy one, get
There you
one
go. Yeah.
free for a 12-pack.
Can't go wrong there.
So I'm going to a divorce, so I take all the free beer I can get.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, take it where you can get it. I'm drinking Jack Daniel's Bottle and Bonded. Need something a little mellow, rolling at 100 proof. So, you know.
Oh,
I was
but you
thinking,
said
yeah,
bottled. You said bottled and bonded, so that's the big bottle, right?
Yeah.
Not the little, not the new bonded version.
Yeah.
But the old bonded.
No,
Oh,
no.
that's a big-
Yeah. The old Bottle and Bonded. The ones that you can't buy at the liquor store.
I was debating
Yeah.
between bonded and triple mash today, and I got the triple mash. So
Mm,
Ooh, I love the triple mash.
Yeah.
Love it.
I do
But you
too.
know what? I will say this one more time, Jalen, that I have not been a fan of Blanton's times that I've gotten it. It is a single barrel, but it's normally not been good. But I got to tell you, after the Celtics win the finals, it tastes a little bit better. Just a little bit better.
Everything tastes
a little
better
bit
when you win.
you win the championship. So go about your business, Blantons. Love you guys.
keep doing it. All right, let's get into our first topic of the second half, which is the news for the week. We're going to start off with a little bit of NBA news. We mentioned this earlier. Pascal Siakam, he is, as we all thought, extending his contract with the Pacers. 4 years, $189.5 million on its way to Pascal Siakam, who I'm not going to lie. Once he got that ring in Toronto, I never thought he would get a big payday again after that. But the fact that he's managed to show his worth again in the NBA, more power to him, man. Go ahead and make that money, because that is absolutely ridiculous that the Indiana Pacers are paying Pascal Siakam damn near $200 million. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, well, they don't have any stars. As I was
I mean,
they don't. I
Halliburton.
mean, they really don't have.
Halliburton's there.
Come on, man.
Halliburton's. I mean, well, okay. Are we talking like big stars or little stars? Like Halliburton is a star.
He's a star.
He's
not a superstar. He's a star.
I mean,
I mean,
when
you're
they're
named
looking at it,
after a fish,
I mean,
it sounds like that's something weird.
well, it's actually Halliburton's a multinational corporation that sends a lot of contractors to the Middle East.
Oh,
Fucking Saudis. That's how they could pay Siakam all this money.
That's how they. Yeah, I mean, good for him. I mean, never angry with a player because they can make the max money.
Right.
What was Indiana going to do? They weren't going to let him walk,
right?
Because they've got. I mean, aside from as Malin said, Halliburton, they've got nobody else. I mean, if you were to ask anybody on TikTok, name me 2 players on the Pacers. After those 2, ain't nobody got. They're guessing. They're making up names.
Like Halliburton. They just made up.
Damn it, I can't.
I can name a few, but
Okay,
that's
I'll
neither
go
here
and
nor
go
there.
next year.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so Indiana. They're gonna pay over $200 million for Siakam. 2 things I think of this. Siakam already has a ring, and he doesn't care if he gets another one. But that's why he re-signed with Indiana. He has 1 ring. Now he gets all his money. Indiana, you are totally fine with being the 6th or 7th seed or being a play-in team for the next 5 years. You can't get... But what is Indiana supposed to do? It's not a free agency destination.
Yep.
You're not going to pay for these people. Paul George is not going to Indiana. Trae Young is not going to Indiana. If you draft Bronny James, LeBron James will retire. He's not coming to Indiana. Nobody is coming to Indiana. Everyone's trying to leave Indiana. I'm not even talking about the basketball team. I'm just talking about people in general. Nobody likes the state of Indiana. So yeah, you gotta pay the money for the people that you have, keep them there, to try to stay relevant. So I don't hate him for it. He got his bag. He's already got his chip. That's good for him. But they're never gonna be a title contender. They're never going to the finals, and they're never gonna win a fucking finals.
Yeah, I could see. It would not surprise me if in the near future, hell, maybe even next year, that the Pacers somehow miraculously finish at like the 3 seed. Like they just really overperform and are a really good team. That's the highest I could absolutely see them finishing. Period. Like they're not going to win anything. But yeah, I mean, this is the most money they're going to pay for anybody outside of Halliburton once he's up for an extension. And yeah, I mean, the last thing I'll say is Malin mentioned Trae Young not going to Indianapolis, but could you imagine going from Atlanta to Indianapolis?
Oh my God! I mean,
almost like
you
going
might as
from
well.
Tampa to Columbia.
I mean, first of all, if you go from Atlanta to Indianapolis, you better call Peyton Manning and be like, "Listen, man, how do I bleach my forehead? I already got to shave my head. I ain't got no fucking hair. I got a big ass head. Like, what? No, that's not happening, man. That'd be such a culture shock. He'd be on like the injured list for like 30 days, just trying to acclimate himself to Indiana. Nobody goes. Like I feel like NBA teams that fly in to Indiana to play the Pacers need to have a therapist on the plane so that they can talk to them about the experience that they have, because everybody's depressed in Indiana, man. like Charles Barkley talks about fat girls in San Antonio eating churros. Like everybody's anemic in Indiana. Like nobody's healthy. Everybody needs more protein, but they're not eating it. All they're eating is corn. So like, what do you? There's nothing there. There's nothing there but gray skies and death. So yeah, I mean, you gotta get some therapists on the plane. Talk some people through what they're gonna experience. It's sad.
All right, let's move on to the next piece of news here. Another.
All I got from G Money. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the people that moved to like, I don't know, Juarez in Mexico, and they're like, wow, this is so cultural. I love it here. That's why I'm
so cultured. Oh god.
Another piece of sad news here. Cameron Brink tore her ACL last night, I think, or maybe night before, against the Connecticut. So I mean, she was out for the rest of the season, presumably, which is just a damn shame because she was
she is
second overall pick and was the only good thing for LA. For all of LA teams, to be honest, but yeah, Cameron Brink, man, that was really unfortunate. No reason to watch a Spark at this point, but yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
You want to know how I know that the WNBA is still not as popular as people think the WNBA is? Go ahead and say it. First of all, they're still going to lose $50 million this year. The WNBA has come out and said, even with the so-called popularity of the league, they're going to lose $50 million.
Jesus.
Like, go ahead. Like, these women need to be sending thank you cards to these NBA players and saying thank you for subsidizing our league because we're not good enough to make people want to watch, except Caitlin Clark, but they just want to beat her up all the time. But when you go to ESPN and you try to click on the WNBA, okay, you have to click on sports. Here are all of the fucking sports that are ahead of the WNBA on their thing. First of all, when you click on sports, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, soccer, golf. Okay? That we're just getting started. Then you have boxing.
Water polo.
Then you have CFL. The Canadian Football League is higher on the list on ESPN. Then you have college sports. Then you have fucking cricket. Okay? I know that when I said cricket, G Money just had a hard on, but you have cricket. Then you have F1. After that, you have horse racing. Horse racing. You want to know what's after horse racing? The Little League World Series is more popular than women's professional basketball. Then you have MMA, NASCAR, then, even then, you have the NBA G League.
Oh, boy.
Okay? Now, NCAA football is not even playing right now, but they're after the NBA G League. You even have the NCAA men's and the NCAA women's basketball that aren't even playing ahead of them. The NWSL, don't know what that is. Olympic sports, I don't even know what the PLL is. Then you have professional wrestling.
I knew it.
Then you have racing. I don't even know what recruiting BB and recruiting SB is. But that's ahead of the WNBA on there. Then you have rugby, sports betting, tennis, WNBA, X Games, and UFFL. So I know that it's in alphabetical order after you get to a certain point. But the WNBA is at the bottom of the fucking barrel for a reason. And it doesn't help that who people were saying was the best rookie for her ACL.
Right.
It's unfortunate. I think it sucks for her because she's making a name for herself. I think Angel Reese is, taking shots with people, and she's excited about it because she wants all the press. But the WNBA is still going to be okay. They still got Caitlin Clark. They still got the Aces. They still got all these other people. But yeah, it just sucks for them. But yeah, WNBA, do something. Be better. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a shame. She's really fine too, so that doesn't help. G Money.
Yeah, yeah, no, it does hurt, and I tend to think that WNBA is getting that bounce right now with Caitlin Clark, more so than with Cameron or with Angel. And it'll be interesting next year to see if they can keep the level where it is or increase it. Obviously, Indiana sold out all its games. I don't think LA did, except when Indiana played. I do know the LA Aces, the Las Vegas Aces, sold out all their home games. They sold out every single one of them. The Seattle Storm up here, the only games they sold out and they moved to Key Arena was the Indiana game when she came up here. She's a drawer. I don't think Cameron could do that. I don't think she could cause that bump. But with her, with Caitlin, with Angel, I think if the WNBA can build on that, and if people will watch next season, I don't know if they're going to make money. To be honest, we'd have to look at the books, because I can tell you I lost $100,000 last year, but that's me telling you that.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
God damn.
You'd have to look. Yeah, I mean, you really want to look at my books to see if I actually lost that money or not, or
Nestor wouldn't know nothing about that.
Your money, let's just write it all off. Don't worry about it.
Business expenses, my friend. Business expenses.
Exactly.
Yeah. Professional gambling, that's a business expense.
Hey.
And everything that's involved in it, sweets, meals, you got to eat when you're there.
Yeah, man.
And I don't eat cheap.
Of course not.
I don't recommend this because I don't know anything about that world at all. But when you know how to fuck the tax system and you know how to play it, life gets much easier.
It's a shame you don't know nothing about that. Damn shame.
We still talk about camera break at this point?
Let's move on. That's a good segue. Let's get into Aaron Rodgers missing the Jets' 3-day minicamp, which
evaded taxes.
By the way, it was rumored that he was on another ayahuasca trip, and that was why he missed the minicamp. And him and one other player, which I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but they were the only two players to miss just minicamp. But I don't know. It's just very strange and very like Aaron Rodgers things. You played, 4 snaps last year, and you can't even show up to the minicamp just to be there for your team as you bring in this new season, and you're off with your ayahuasca trip again. You couldn't have moved that around.
Great news. This is great news for us.
Let me go ahead and take this one, Jalen. There is a reason why Aaron Rodgers will always be considered one of the most talented quarterbacks, but never the greatest quarterback. There's a difference between him and Tom Brady. Tom Brady lost his fucking family trying to be great and win Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers is taking time out of a minicamp to go get high and go find himself. Sir, I don't know how old you are. I think at 38 years old. If at 30 years old you don't know who the fuck you are, you got a problem. I'm 43 years old. I know exactly who I am, and I know exactly what I'm dealing with. But at the end of the day, this is why he has one Super Bowl.
Yep.
This is why he has one. This is why he has a losing record in the playoffs. his MVPs, what he does in the regular season. This is why this man has won Super Bowl. It's about him more than the team. Tom Brady has 7 because he was always about the team. He sacrificed so much. He didn't just lose his marriage because he decided to come back after retirement. It's because of all the sacrifices he made leading up to him retiring and coming back from it. That man sacrificed everything to win Super Bowls. This man isn't even married. Doesn't even have kids. Sir, what are you doing? Why are you not throwing passes to people? What the fuck is going on in your head? Yet all you want to do is complain about the media and everybody else and coming for you. Like, I get it. You want to be your own person. That's great. But don't try to chime that you're supposed to be one of the greatest of all time. Like, at this point, he's not going to finish in the top 5 of any statistical category for quarterbacks. And he has 1 Super Bowl. Like, what is he even the most talented at this point? Like, maybe the bitchiest. Like, to me, Brett Favre is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers ever was. That man was taking shit, was killing his body, and ruining his family to put himself in the game to try to win more Super Bowls when he was in Green Bay. Like, that man was killing himself to do it. I just don't want to hear it anymore. This guy, retire, man. We don't care about you anymore, Aaron Rodgers. Like, I thought that what Brett Favre did at the end of his career with retired, not retired, and going to Jets and going to Minnesota was the worst that an all-time great could do it. Aaron Rodgers is trying to trump Brett Favre and everything. And he's doing a pretty good job. He's doing a worse job right now. Like, be there for your team.
You mentioned a very good point. Sir, you do not have children. What the hell are you doing? It makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, what? Huh? You can't show up for 3 days? You haven't played in over a year. Like, Mr. G Money. Somebody.
It's great news for the division, honestly. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it is.
It's great news.
Dolphins fan. Yes.
It's great. I love it. Man, your comment about not having children, I understand 100%. Like, man, there's so much time and you don't have kids. It's great. It's a good time. Yeah. Oh my God. He should be like, I know Tua didn't go to camp or something for like, and then there was like a little bit of talk to try to spark a little bit of talk about his contract or whatever, but it was all BS.
But everything at his age should be about football.
Right.
Exactly.
He's built his life about everything being football, then he can't show up for football.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, G Money.
He's a diva. He's a diva. That's what he is, a diva. I mean, and the Jets are fucked. I mean, they really are. They haven't had a good quarterback in, I don't know, 20 years. I mean, even when Brett Favre there went for 1 season, he wasn't good. So they haven't had a good quarterback. They've drafted poorly, and they thought trading for Aaron Rodgers, that was going to be the answer. And it's not the answer. They don't even know what the question is anymore. And he will get his coach fired.
Yep.
And that'll be the second coach he gets fired. And it won't be his fault. I mean, there's a reason your family doesn't talk to you.
Oh, shit. He brought it up. Oh, shit. He brought it up. Yes, he is estranged. Like, he literally has nobody. Like, he has estranged himself from everybody. And you're right. Like, the fact that Robert Saleh comes out there and says he went out of his way. They didn't even ask the question about Aaron Rodgers, but he went out of his way to talk about how it was an unexcused absence.
Right. Yep.
And then he's opened himself up to fights. Like, Robert Sall's like, bitch, like, there's a lot of people's livelihood on the line in that organization that you need to perform so that people can put food on the table and pay mortgages. And you can't show up to a fucking mini camp.
Right.
Like, just, I'm so done with him, man. Just fucking stop.
It's 3 days, and you have all the several months before, several months after to go do whatever the hell you want. You couldn't make the time for those 3 days. Are you serious?
We're about to hit a blackout zone in the NFL till what, like the end of July,
Right.
beginning of like when people start. But you have all this time to do all this shit,
right?
Like, but you come on, man. Like, you're the face of that franchise. Come on, man. Like, just be better, do better. Understand that there are hundreds of people's lives. Their financial, like, it's hanging in the balance with you. And you're not there. Come on. What do we... Stop it. Fucking selfish.
Yep. Very strange. That's one of those things. It's like, man, you better be glad you're an NFL quarterback, because any other job, they had gotten rid of your ass a long time ago. Because, come on. Let me segue right into, if you're not following us on Instagram and TikTok, we are at AFR Sports. One word, nothing fancy, just AFR Sports. Be sure to follow us. We post almost daily. If you want to be featured during the community comments section like we had earlier, that's the place to do it. Weigh in on the conversation while we are away from the live stream. And, keep up with what we are doing on Instagram and TikTok. Last but not least, let's get into what's up with that for the week. For those that are new to the show, this is the segment where we each air out a grievance we have in the sports world from the past week. And I'm going to start with G Money. What is your what's up with that this week, sir?
I've actually got two, but I'm going to be really quick. Same sport, different continents. First one, England manager, Gareth Southgate. Mate, what the fuck are you doing? You've been the manager of England since 2016, and you haven't won a bloody thing. Not a bloody thing have you won.
Bloody thing.
This is the best England team that you've had, and you struggled. You struggled with Serbia. 65 minutes. If Serbia weren't so interested in collecting yellow cards, maybe they would have scored a goal or two and beat us. If you can't get your act together, you will not be the manager of the England team after this season. You're gone because you haven't won a bloody thing. My second one, same sport. We're going to go and talk about Inter Miami in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, how the fuck can you lose a game in extra time when you've got a 2-man advantage? I don't know. This thing is called an intentional foul. When you see him breaking away, fucking tackle his ass. I don't care if you get a yellow card and you freaking give him a free kick. How the hell did you let that happen? And Messi wasn't playing.
Wow.
I just don't know how you do that.
Game. Serbia would have won that game, but they got another yellow card.
It was just, two games, two continents. And we play Denmark tomorrow, so we better show the hell up.
Is the Euro Cup that's right now?
Euro Cup, yeah.
Was it, correct me if I'm wrong, was it England in the last finals of the Euro Cup when they blew it in penalties?
Yeah, they blew it against Italy in penalty kicks.
Why are you bringing up bad memories?
I just want to make sure my
Everybody
history is
said he
correct.
wanted to make it quick, and then you bring this up.
And that was at home. That was at Wembley. I mean, in front of all your fans.
Yes.
All your fans. God, Queen, and Country.
That was when the whole country wanted to shoot those players to the moon, but
They
Did that, didn't you, Jim?
sorry about that. Nestor, what's up with that this week?
Throughout the week, there was only one thing that kind of like I looked at the news and kind of pissed me off, but I just don't want to talk about it. 'Cause I feel like it's just beating a dead horse at this point. I really don't want to get into it.
Does
I'm
it
gonna be
involve the
boring as hell.
WNBA?
I'm gonna be boring as hell. I'm gonna talk about. See, that's not even a what's up with that. Oh man.
That's how I feel. Let it out.
What's on
I
your
don't
heart?
want to talk about it. I mean, I'm not pissed about it anymore because I couldn't care less in
Can you
general.
tell us
But
what it is?
I hate that every time I turn on this ESPN app,
oh boy,
like I look at the scores and then right there in top 5 is always something related to Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
And like somebody has to
Oh, here we
open
go.
their damn mouth and say, well, Caitlin Clark, you just don't understand the intersectionalities and all we like let the girl hoop. It doesn't matter what she says, she's wrong. She's wrong. She's like, just let me play basketball. Like, you just, you have that luxury of just playing basketball. I'm like, what are you talking about? Let the girl play basketball. What are we talking about? And some guy, I don't know who the hell said it, but there's always some new person saying it every damn week. We still have the same news every damn week. It's like, all that girl wants to do is play basketball, and you guys are downplaying the whole league every time you do this. Like every time, like the only news that comes out of the WNBA is like, "Oh, look what they did to Caitlin
Right.
Clark," and this person said this and responded back. Like, stop. Like, let these girls hoop and let their talent show, and then you might get more people watching the game. But now it's just keeping up with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Like, it's nobody wants to watch that. So it's just
Well,
apart from that, G Money, I'm enjoying the Euro Cup. I'm enjoying Copa America starts tomorrow, and I get to see Messi. So I'm happy about that for the summer.
I will say that everybody does want to watch Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese because that was the most watched WNBA game ever that they had. I think on Sunday, or Angel Reese tried to take Caitlin Clark's head off, and then got called for a flagrant foul, and then was like, "No, it's a basketball play." But then I think it was last night, someone from the Aces just straight up, I mean, just body checked Angel Reese when she was going for a rebound and threw her to the ground like she was a fucking rag doll. And that girl got thrown out of the game, and Angel Reese was like, "Yeah, she should have gotten thrown out of the game." But I was like, "Yeah, that was a foul on you, but what you did to Caitlin Clark, that's a basketball play, that's fine." But okay, so my what's up with that? It has to be Stephen A. Smith. Sir, I get it. You're better than all of us when it comes to talking sports because you're bloviated, and you make a lot of fucking money, and you throw out at the source all the time, and you make all these fucking words that don't mean anything, and you throw it in your soliloquies and all this shit. But when you come out there and say that the Lakers are still the greatest team in NBA history because they've been to more finals than the Boston Celtics have. Let me write this down for a second. He brings up the fact that the Boston Celtics won most of their championships in the 60s when there were only 18. And they have not been as relevant as the Lakers since then. First off, let's talk about the fact that 5 of the NBA championships that the Lakers have were before the Celtics even won their first, so they had 8 or less teams, and you're counting 5 teams from when they played in fucking Minnesota. Okay? So, yeah, the LA Lakers have only won 13. Second, This man has gone on record for years talking about Jordan being the best basketball player ever. And LeBron can never be greater than him. Michael Jordan went to 6 finals. He won 6 finals. LeBron James has been to 10 finals. And has only won 4. But his argument is that the Lakers are a better franchise than the Boston Celtics because they've been to 32 finals and they've won 17. Yet the Celtics have been to 23 and they've won 18. So the Lakers are more relevant. So by his argument, LeBron James should be the best basketball player to ever play the fucking game because he's been more relevant in the finals than Michael Jordan. You're bloviating out of your ass, Stephen A. Smith. Like, shut up with your stupid ass hot takes. Like, just stop it. The Boston Celtics have 18 banners. The Lakers have 17. They've been to the finals 23 times. They've won 18. They've only lost 5 times in the NBA Finals. They have a 78% winning percentage in the NBA Finals. The LA Lakers have a 53% winning percentage in the NBA Finals. Just stop it. The Boston Celtics are better. The LA Lakers may have had better stars. Okay? I get it. They had Jerry West. They had Elgin Baylor. They had Chamberlain. Okay? They weren't winning. Boston Celtics beat the shit out of them all them years they had them people. Then you had the Magic and Bird stuff. I get it. Then I understand he had the Shaq and Kobe era. We only won 1 with Paul Pierce. We've won 1 with Tatum and Brown. But the simple fact is, we have a better winning percentage in the finals. We have more banners. And we've beaten the Lakers 9 out of 12 times. We have a 9-3 record against them in the NBA Finals. So Stephen A. Smith, shut the fuck up. You're supposed to know basketball, yet you sound like an idiot when you have this take. Boston Celtics, best NBA team ever. Franchise ever.
There we go. My what's up with that is also related to the finals. And it is, someone kind of mentioned it during our community comments, but can we please stop shaming the star that loses in the NBA Finals? In this case, it's Luka. But the same thing was happening when our Celtics lost. And it just seems like it's every year. Like, the fact that people are already dragging Luka through the mud, it's like, the NBA is not a young league. Like, it's been around for a while. We've seen the pattern. You gotta cut your teeth. This is just kind of how it works. The man couldn't do much more than what he did. I mean, yes, he could have played defense a bit better, but that's the story of Luka's whole career. Do we really think that Luka is not going to get back to a championship situation throughout the entirety of his career? Like, let's just be realistic here. Luka is still, I think, the best player in the NBA. He's got the deepest bag of anybody in the NBA. He will be fine. Let him have a nice offseason. He'll be right back, and people will be right back on him next regular season as if nothing ever happened. Like, yes, I know at this point he's going to be judged just by his championships because he's at that point now. But he's Luka. Like, come on. It's just ridiculous how people are so fickle with these stars in the NBA.
Here's a good comparison for you, Jalen, on that. Jalen Hurts hosts the Super Bowl, loses, right? What was the narrative for Jalen Hurts? Oh, one of the best up-and-coming quarterbacks. He'll get back. Like, no one was hating on Jalen Hurts when he lost that Super Bowl to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was like, no, like he carried that team on his back, got him there. He'll get back there at some point. People are doing that with Brock Purdy right now. Where's the hate for Brock Purdy?
Right.
Taking the 49ers to the Super Bowl
right.
and losing. Everyone's talking about, well, Brock Purdy's going to do this. But when you're in the NBA, man, and you're one of them top 5 players and you make the finals and you don't win, like all of a sudden people just want to shit on you in a different way than any other sport. I mean, people have been talking about someone like Mike Trout being one of the best baseball players. in Major League Baseball over the last decade.
Right.
Been to the playoffs one time. Playoffs one time. Had Ohtani on his team for 5-6 years. Never went to the playoffs. Lost a World Baseball Classic to the Japanese squad with Ohtani pitching against him. And yet people are still talking about Mike Trout doesn't get the hate
Right.
that people in the NBA get. There's something weird about
Yeah,
the NBA,
it's
man.
weird because, like you said, Mike
Something
Trout.
weird about it.
It's been like a decade, so he's a bit older now. But even like Hurts, Purdy, they're younger in the NFL, and still, people get it. Luka's only 25, and people are still just in the NBA just ready to just discredit him. Same thing with that's how it always goes. LeBron was the same way for a long time. People were just on his ass until he won that one ring.
I get it if he didn't make the finals. Go ahead and give him the same business that you give Josh Allen to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But he's accomplished more than those two at the NBA platform than they have in the NFL. Yet, you still don't get the same type of vitriol after you lose like a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson do. So I don't know. Maybe it's because the NBA coined itself for so many years about being about the individual.
Yeah.
And maybe we're starting to get back to more team oriented. But yeah, he's still the best player. He lost.
Yeah.
He didn't have the best team.
Right.
Best player doesn't always win if you don't have the best team. Michael Jordan didn't win for a long time before he had the best team. I mean, it happens.
Yeah. Well, that will do it for episode 193, folks. Does anybody have anything else they want to mention briefly before we get up out of here?
I just think it's interesting that Detroit fires Monty Williams, throw him $65 million, and it comes out that when they hired him, they all weren't on the same boat, wanting to hire him. My thought is, if you're the owner and you're signing the check, and that's not the guy you want, then don't hire him. Don't pay him $78 million and set a new record for signing a head coach. Don't do it. Just say, no, that's not the guy I want. Good for Monty Williams. I mean, he doesn't have to coach for a while. I mean,
that is bad.
I'm thinking I'm going to throw my hat in the ring there. I'll coach Detroit for Look, they can sign me for 3 years for $30 million.
Boom.
I mean, you know what?
I'll do it.
We'll hire you all as assistant coaches.
Right.
We'll make like $2 or $3 million. We'll move to that shithole of a city called Detroit. We'll make our money. We'll get fired after 1 year, and that's that.
You can sign me for 1 year, $300,000, and I'll coach that fucking team.
Amen.
Shit.
Amen.
Just give me $300,000. I'm not even talking about $3 million.
Just
I'll
move
go
to
up
Detroit.
To that godforsaken fucking state.
Just suffer Detroit for 1 year. That's all you gotta do.
Go to buy a house. I wish Starbucks would do that type of fucking severance package.
I mean, we'll just rent a house. We'll all live there.
There you
flip
go.
the bills, and they get fired after the first year. All the money's guaranteed, so
Rent's what? $22
The
in
team
Detroit?
is not going to win because of us, but they're sure as hell not going to lose because of us.
All we gotta do is get a whiteboard and doodle on it for 1 year. That's it.
There you go. Hey, let's play the rookies.
There's a reason that Detroit is in the situation they're in right now, and this is Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Alexa, shut up, G-Money. Trying to end this goddamn show.
All right, folks. We want to thank you all for watching, listening. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 194. We got some NFL topics starting to creep back into the show as we gear up for our divisional predictions, or for each team in the NFL, how they're going to do next year. But yeah, be sure to follow us at AFR Sports. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we'll see you next week.
Banner 18, baby. Banner
18.
Peace out, guys.
18. See it.